What's up, YouTube family? This is Jeff with a little bit of everything home services, coming to you with another video. So hey family, listen, today we're out and about, and we're actually going to replace a water heater, an electric water heater. So I figured I'll let you tag along. Let me lay down a little bit of the history. So the original service call was, the tenant had to shut the water off because the expansion tank was shooting water everywhere. So the expansion tank had cracked. And well, actually, it had corroded. Stay in the right lane. It had corroded and rusted out, and was leaking water, shooting water all in the garage. So when I got there, the tenant had already cut the water off, and to stop that pressure going on, he knew a little bit about what he was doing. So he shut off both hot and cold water valve that was running to the water heater. And of course that pressure stopped, the water stopped shooting everywhere. So I got there. When I got the call, they said that potentially the water heater may need to be replaced, but then they sent me another message and said, hey, it's the expansion tank that's leaking. So I'm like, all right. So I pick up another 2-gallon expansion tank, drain the water heater just a little bit, and change that tank out, turn the power back on, boom, I'm out of there. So I got a call back. I guess the water heater never actually started producing hot water. So I said, okay. So the decision was made to go ahead and just replace it. It was an older water heater anyway. So that's what I did. I said, all right, let's just replace it then. So that's what we're going to do today. So I figured I'll go through the video, and I've done water heater videos before, but on this particular one, I'm going to go through the steps on changing it. So I'm going to walk you through a few things that I do when I'm considering changing out a water heater. Now, I always look at location. Where is the water heater located? In this particular case, the water heater is located in the garage. Yes. My two favorite places for the water heater to be is in the garage or in a storage closet outside. And it makes it so much easier for the installation. So, and this one actually is electric, which makes it even easier for the installation because I don't have to remove gas piping, and I don't have to do any of that. So it's a pretty simple, straightforward job. So, but the one thing that I do is I do take a measurement of the water heater. First, I find out what the gallons are, because I want to make sure I get something compatible. This one's a 50-gallon water heater, so I'm replacing it with a 50-gallon water heater. Also, what I did was I measured the height of the water heater, because you got the water supply lines running to the water heater, and what I don't want to have to do is make major adjustments. So since I don't, if I keep that in mind and I get a water heater that's the same height, I won't have to make adjustments to the pipe. Which of course will save me time and so on. So that's what I normally do. I suggest you do that, to go ahead and just don't go out and purchase it. See, in this particular case, you would think it was a tall water heater, but it's sitting on a stand. So it measures 47 and something as far as high. So the closest thing was 49 at the store. I just picked it up at Lowe's. So that's going to be pretty compatible. I shouldn't have a problem working with that. So pretty simple. It has a T on it, and I'll show you this, but it has a T on it to connect the expansion tank and the water line, and then on the other side, the hot water line. So it's pretty straightforward, So the first thing we'll do when we get there is start draining the water heater. Now, if you're going to be doing that, again, I've done videos with pumps, to use pumps to drain that water heater, because you don't want to wait hours waiting for it to pump out. To drain out, it takes forever. So, but if you have that pump, that transfer pump, hey, you hook that up, and within 20 minutes, typically that water heater is drained. And I have, 2 different pumps that I use. I'm not going to be using today. I'm just going to be using the standard one that you plug in, because I want to do some maintenance on the battery operated one, my Milwaukee. So I'm not going to be using the Milwaukee one today. I'm going to be using the plug-in one since it's in the garage and I actually have access to the outlet. So, all right, I'm not going to keep going on family. I just figured I'd lay a little groundwork, so when we get there, you will know what's going on and we can hop right to it. All right, be right back. Okay, family, so I am at the site, and this is the water heater that I will be replacing. I'm changing it from this Bradford White to A.O. Smith. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be, first of all, drain the tank. Then I'm going to remove the expansion valve. I'm going to disconnect the electrical. And I'm going to remove the connections. And get everything all disconnected, take it down, and put the new one up. As you can see, first thing I did is I have my female to female hose hooked up. It's where to drain the water tank. Female hose here, and the female end here. And then I'm gonna be using the drum-on transfer pump. And I'm gonna hook it up. See the arrow facing this way? So I'm gonna hook up the here from the water heater to here. And then I'm gonna get a hose and hook it up to there. I'm gonna hook the zero gravity hose up to here. Now this zero gravity hose, I did a review on this hose, family, and it's a really good hose, but they burst. I've had 2 burst on me, so in this application I can use it just because the pump's pushing out here and it's not gonna be too much force. But these are great hoses. They're really lightweight. Well, as far as being lightweight, but they do bust under pressure. So I did a great review on them before, but I can't say that anymore. And this is the 50-foot. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that drain valve. Shut the valves off so water will flow. Now you see how it was flowing like crazy before. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up, release some pressure so it can drain. Just going to put this bucket under there, and then now, normally, water will start flowing down here if I didn't have this open. Family, so I'm removing these screws. I've removed 2 of them already. I'm removing this 3rd one right here. Alright. So now the wires are exposed. Oh, look at there. These wires are fried, family. And you see water dripping in here? It damaged these wires. But they got wet in here. Got wet in there, and it's burnt the wire out. You know, that's why it wasn't heating up. You know, so I'm gonna have to strip back these wires to get some fresh conduit out of there, and I mean not conduit, fresh wire, and so I can hook up the new water heater. And then I'm gonna go ahead and remove this expansion tank right here. I have enough water out of it to go ahead and do that. So while I'm up here, there we go. Just gonna turn it loose. It's great when it's mounted like this. Well, because this one has a T. See? There we go. See how this one has a T on it, family? Has a T onto the nipple that connects the expansion tank. And also, move these so you can see. See? Also has a 3/4 fitting right there. The electrical has been disconnected. And now I am about to disconnect I'm going to disconnect the line here. Now I'm going to have to, for the drain, I'm going to have to cut it so I can take that off. You know, so I have to cut that because the next one is not a top drain, it's a side drain. So I won't be using this. I'm gonna cut this off, and I won't be using that. And then I'm gonna remove the 2 hot and cold water lines. All right, family. Now that we have the water heater off of the stand, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the the pipe right here, so I can remove this T. We're gonna reuse this T right here. See, this came out all together. This piece right here. So I'm gonna have to reuse. I'm gonna have to get a new one, which I have new ones, but see how that came off the inside? So I can't reuse that. So just have to use another one. Okay, family. So as you can see, this one right here, I cut it just right. I'm not gonna have to make any adjustments on here. I'm gonna have to put this on here, and I can just put the crimping on here, the crimping ring. So, and it's gonna fit just fine. Now I will have to do some adjustments to the cold water line right there. So I got to put that T on there, and then after putting that T on there, you see how it's so close to the water heater? I'm gonna have to cut it up here. I have to cut this pipe right here, and then I'll crimp it back together with a coupling, a straight coupling, and connect it back up. I'll use another. Let's see if I have a 90. I'll screw it on, and then I'll use a 90. Well, I'll just show you. All right, family. So I'm gonna be using these 3/4 straight coupling SharkBite for PEX. Open it up. There we go. See that? I'm gonna put a ring around it. And then I'm gonna put another ring on the other side of this, but I gotta cut this first. Gotta cut this, shorten it up so it'll line up. All right. And I can put another coupling. Oh, I got a coupling already, I forgot. All right, so see, I got a coupling. I just need to put a crimp ring on this side. Get it on up there. All right, so now I'm gonna fit it all together. Put a ring on there, crimping ring. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put this crimper on here and squeeze. Not comfortable with that one right there. That one didn't do like it normally do. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm gonna break that off and change it with another one. All right, so I didn't like the way that crimped, family, so I'm gonna break this off. With the removal tool. When in doubt, change it out. All right. Now re-crimp it. That's much better. I got that resistance that I need. There we go. All right, now, as you can see, family, This one's on here. The hot water line's on there. Cold water lines on there. And the only thing I gotta do now is put the expansion tank on top and fill it with water and connect the electrical. All right, family, so I put more Teflon tape on this expansion tank. Now I'm going to screw it. This thing is in the way. Let's see if I can slide it over just a hair. There we go. I don't think that's gonna affect nothing, so there we go. And it's a little harder to turn right now because there's no water in this tank expansion. I mean, in the water heater. So therefore, I don't have the force to hold it still. So I have to hold it in my hand. All right. Now, let's check it for leaks. I'm gonna turn the water on and check it to make sure nothing's leaking. So open up the cold water line. I don't see any water leaking right now. We're gonna let this tank fill up. So while the tank is filling up, family, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this insulation right here so I can line it back up. Cut this insulation on this one and line it back up so I can get everything before I'm gonna complete testing it for leaks first to make sure that it's dripping. Then I'm gonna put the insulation back, tape it back up. And while I'm waiting for all that, I'm going to go ahead and hook the electrical back up. Attach these wires. It doesn't really matter which way you go because it's 120 volts on each side. So this is 120 volts coming from the breaker. This is 120 volts coming from the breaker. So they come in with 240 with dual voltage, the same amount of voltage, so it doesn't really matter. All right. There's a peep in there. You can see it's on there pretty good. I just got to tighten it down. Yep, good and tight. Now, let's set it down in here. Now here the water is almost finished filling up, but we're gonna have to relieve some pressure so it can keep going. We gotta relieve some pressure. So, one way is to open up the faucets inside or at the outside water fountain or water speaker or whatever. But another way, if you look down there while I'm tightening this up, I'll finish tightening this first. I'm going to check it before I put this back on. I'm going to check it with that little dumb stick to make sure it's hot. But I'm going to turn the breaker back on over here. This is the breaker for the water heater. All right, so now let's see, make sure that it's hot. Okay, turned it on there. Yep, you see that? See that? Lit up. It's hot. All right. So now it's starting to heat up the water. So I'm going to put this last one on. Another thing I want to do, family, another way to relieve that water pressure is from the pressure relief valve right here. This pressure relief valve right here. And let's make sure that it's going into the bucket down here. I'm going to put this underneath here. You see that? Now I'm gonna open this up right here. Watch you hear air from this relief valve. see water start coming out, you've gotten the air out of the line. You don't hear hissing anymore, right? So now all we're waiting for, you don't hear the hissing, we're just waiting for the water to flow. Because it's still filling up is what it's doing. Because it has so much air in it, we didn't have it open. So in order for it to keep filling up, you got to remove that air. And what happens if you don't remove air from the line, you hear knocking in your pipes. And you hear, I don't know if you can hear that water running in the background. There we go. See that? Okay. So now that that's doing that, I will get them to open up the water lines inside of the house, and it's gonna spit and relieve that air pressure as well inside the house at the faucets. Check to make sure there's no leaks. No leaks there. No leaks there. No leaks at the expansion tank. No leaks here. Great. All we got to do now is cut this insulation and line everything up, tape it up, and we're done. All right, family. That's the finished product. Everything's taped back up. Water heater's running, up and running. Starting to get a little warm. It'll be hot in about 2 hours. Actually, it'll be hot in an hour. Alright family, I want to thank you for taking the time to check out the video. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.